The night Lorado escaped Han's men, she ran until her lungs burned. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had to find Minho. For days, she believed he was her enemy. But now she understood something worse. There were no good men in this war, only dangerous ones, and he was the only danger who had ever tried to keep her alive. When she reached the old harbor warehouse where Minho's men usually met, she saw black cars lined up outside. She hesitated, then stepped inside. The air was heavy with smoke and gun oil. Minho stood at the center of the room, surrounded by his men. He looked different, colder, harder, as if he'd built a wall around himself. When he saw her, his eyes widened. "Lorado," he breathed, stepping forward. "You're alive." She stopped a few feet away, her body trembling. "Han took me," she said. "He told me things about my father." His expression darkened. "You shouldn't have gone near him." "I didn't choose to," she cried. "Your enemies did. Your world did." He took her hand gently. "Are you hurt?" She pulled away. "You knew, didn't you? You knew about my father." Minho's jaw tightened. "I suspected, but I didn't want you to carry that burden." Lorado's voice broke. "You should have told me the truth. I was trying to protect you. By lying to me." Their words hit the air like bullets, sharp and fast. Then silence fell. The only sound was the faint hum of the lights above. Minho finally spoke again, his voice low. "Lorado, what did Han tell you?" She hesitated. "He said there's something about me, about us. A prophecy." He froze. "What prophecy?" He said, "The child of an African woman and a Korean dragon will unite the underworld." Minho's face turned pale. His hand slowly went to the dragon tattoo on his wrist, the same one she had once glimpsed in fear. "That prophecy," he whispered. "It's from the old Seoul clans. It's supposed to mean the end of all mafia wars, one bloodline to rule them all." Lorado frowned. "Then why does it matter to us?" Minho looked at her then, his eyes dark and unreadable. "Because of you." She blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" He hesitated, then stepped closer. "Lorado, when was your last?" He stopped, unable to finish. Her breath caught. "You think I'm..." He nodded slowly. She shook her head. "No, that's not possible." But deep inside, she already knew. The nausea, the dizziness, the way her clothes had begun to feel tighter, she had been denying it, pushing the thought away, afraid of what it might mean. Now there was no hiding. "I'm pregnant," she whispered. Minho reached for her hand. "Then the prophecy is real." She pulled away again, tears filling her eyes. "No, it's not. It's just words. My baby has nothing to do with your war." He looked at her with a pain she'd never seen before. "To you, maybe. But to them, your child is power. They will come for you, Lorado." That night, Minho doubled the guards around the mansion. But danger was already closer than he knew. Aisha sat in her small apartment across town, staring at her phone. Han's voice echoed in her memory from earlier that day. "Bring her to me, or you'll disappear next." Her hands trembled as she typed a message. "She's pregnant. Minho doesn't know who to trust. You can find them at the harbor safe house." When she hit send, tears fell down her cheeks. "I'm sorry, Lorado," she whispered. "I can't die for you." The next morning, Minho gathered his inner circle. "Han's people are moving," he said. "Someone gave them our location." Lorado watched from the stairs, her stomach tight. His lieutenant, a scarred man named Jin, slammed a gun onto the table. "We should strike first. Kill them before they touch her." Minho shook his head. "They want the child. If they take her, it's over." Jin sneered. "You've gone soft. Since when does the great Kong Minho care about a woman?" The room went silent. Minho turned to him slowly. "Say that again." "You heard me," Jin said. "This woman is making you weak. She's a curse." Before Lorado could speak, Minho moved. In one quick motion, he grabbed Jin's gun and pressed it to his chest. "You ever call her that again," Minho said coldly, "and I'll remind you what loyalty means." Jin's smirk faded, but he didn't back down. "You'll risk everything for her. For a child that isn't even." The gunshot cut him off. Everyone froze. Jin fell to the ground, eyes wide, blood spreading across his shirt. Lorado gasped. "Minho." He turned to her, his eyes full of sorrow. "He would have betrayed us." She shook her head, horrified. "You didn't have to kill him." He walked closer, lowering the gun. "You still don't understand, Lorado. In this world, mercy gets you buried. Tears streamed down her face. You keep saying you want to protect me, but all I see is death. Minho stopped inches from her. Then hate me, he said quietly. But let me keep you alive. Something in his voice broke her anger. She could see it, the man beneath the armor, the one who carried guilt like a wound. She whispered, why me, Minho? Out of everyone, why save me? He met her eyes. Because you made me remember I still have a heart. That night, they hid in one of Minho's secret safehouses on the edge of the city. It was quiet, away from the chaos. For the first time in weeks, Lorado allowed herself to breathe. She sat by the window, watching the lights flicker over the ocean. Minho came up behind her, resting a coat over her shoulders. You should rest, he said softly. She looked up at him. Do you ever rest? He smiled faintly. Not since I met you. They shared a long silence. For a moment, the war outside felt far away. Lorado placed a hand over her stomach. What if they're right? She said quietly. What if this child really is something more? Minho knelt beside her, his voice gentle. Then we protect it. Together. She looked at him, her anger melting into something she didn't want to name. You killed my brother, she whispered. I know, he said. And if I could trade my life for his, I would. Her eyes filled with tears. I want to believe you. He reached out, brushing a tear from her cheek. Then believe this, I love you, Lorado. Not because of the prophecy. Not because of the war. Just you. Her breath caught. She wanted to hate him, to fight, but her heart betrayed her. She leaned against him, letting his arms hold her, if only for a moment of peace in a world made of blood. But peace never lasted long. Outside, engines roared, lights flashed through the windows. Minho's men shouted warnings. They've found us, someone yelled. Minho stood, pulling Lorado to her feet. Stay behind me. Gunfire exploded outside. Bullets shattered the glass, tearing through the night. Lorado screamed as he pulled her down behind a couch. We have to run, she cried. No, he said. They'll be waiting at the back. He handed her a small black device. If I tell you to run, press this. It'll open the escape tunnel. What about you? She asked. He gave a faint smile. I'll follow. The walls shook as grenades went off outside. Smoke filled the room. Minho grabbed a rifle, firing toward the door. Go, he shouted. I'm not leaving you. She screamed back. He turned, his face streaked with blood and dust. Please, Lorado. For the baby. She hesitated, tears streaming down her face. Then, heartbreaking, she pressed the button. A panel on the floor slid open. She crawled into the dark tunnel. Turning back just once, Minho stood in the doorway, firing at the shadows closing in. For 1 second, their eyes met. I love you, he mouthed. The next moment, the explosion hit. The blast threw her backward, smoke and fire swallowing the world. She hit the ground hard, her ears ringing. When she looked back, the building was burning. Minho, she screamed, crawling toward the flames. Minho, no answer, only the crackle of fire and the sound of sirens in the distance. She pressed her hand to her stomach, sobbing. Please, not now, not like this. Behind her, the city burned, and the legend of the Korean dragon died, or so the world thought. But deep beneath the smoke and ash, a shadow moved. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to K-Heart Dramas, where every story beats with passion and destiny. The sea was calm that morning in Cape Town. Waves rolled softly against the shore, glinting silver under the rising sun. Lorado stood by the balcony of her small house, a cup of tea in her hands. Her son, Tae Lamo, played with toy cars on the floor, humming to himself. He was 2 now, bright, gentle, with his father's dark eyes and her smile. Every time she looked at him, her heart ached and healed at the same time. 2 years had passed since that night, the fire, the explosion, the screams. 2 years since Kang Minho had vanished into the flames. The world believed he was dead. Sometimes, she almost did too. But not always. Some nights, she woke from dreams where she felt his arms again, heard his voice whispering her name. Those dreams were both comfort and curse. Still, she had learned to live. She taught English at a local school, raised her son, and stayed out of trouble. Or at least, she tried to. One afternoon, a black SUV stopped outside her house. Lorado frowned as two men in suits stepped out. The taller one approached her gate, holding a folder. "Miss Lorado Mbeki?" he asked. "Yes," she said cautiously. "I'm from a private security firm," he explained. "We've been hired to protect you. There's been movement, certain names resurfacing." She crossed her arms. "What names?" "Han Enterprises," he said. Her blood ran cold. "That's impossible. Han is dead." The man hesitated. "We don't believe so. Someone powerful wants to find you and your son." Lorado's voice shook. "Who sent you?" He opened the folder and showed her a signed contract, anonymous, sealed with a red stamp. "Your new bodyguard will arrive tonight," he said. She wanted to refuse, to slam the door, but something in his tone, and the fear she thought she had buried, stopped her. That evening, when the doorbell rang, she almost didn't answer. But Tae Lamo ran ahead, giggling. "Mommy, someone's here." Lorado followed him to the door and opened it. A man stood there, tall, dressed in a dark jacket, face half shadowed by the porch light. He looked about 30, maybe older, his hair cut short, his eyes hidden behind sunglasses. "Miss Lorado," he said in a low voice. "I'm your new protection detail." There was something about his voice, smooth, calm, slightly accented. It made her heart stop for a second. She stared. "Have we met before?" He shook his head. "No, ma'am. My name is June." But as he stepped inside, she caught a faint scar on his neck, a small mark she had traced once with her fingers, long ago, in another life. Her breath caught. "June," she repeated softly. He nodded. "You and your son are under my care now. I'll stay nearby, not inside the house." She hesitated, watching him move, the way he scanned the room, the quiet discipline in his movements. Everything about him screamed Minho, even the silence between his words. But that was impossible. Minho was dead. Days passed. The man who called himself June followed her everywhere, to work, to the market, to the beach where Tae Lamo played. He rarely spoke, but when he did, his voice carried calm authority. "Stay close to the car," he would say. "Keep your phone on silent when we move." She didn't know whether to feel safe or trapped again. One afternoon, while Tae Lamo napped, Lorado decided to test him. She brewed 2 cups of tea and carried one to where he stood near the fence. "You can take off the glasses," she said. "You're not fooling anyone." June looked at her, unmoving. "Excuse me." She stepped closer. "You think I don't see it? The way you watch me, the way you move. You're him." He stiffened. "You're mistaken." Her eyes burned with tears. "Say his name, then." "Say Minho is dead." He didn't answer. She set the tea down. Sharply. "Why are you doing this? Why hide from me?" He turned away. "Because it's safer if you believe I'm someone else." Her voice cracked. "Safer for who? You or me?" June sighed, then took off his glasses. For a moment, time stopped. The face was older, marked by scars and shadows, but it was him. Kong Minho. Lorado's knees weakened. "You're alive." He reached out quickly, steadying her. "Lorado, please." She pushed him away, tears falling. "You let me think you were dead. I buried you in my heart. I had to," he said quietly. "If they knew I survived, they'd never stop hunting you. I erased my name, burned every record, vanished. It was the only way." Her voice trembled. 2 years, Minho. I cried every night. And you watched me from afar." "Yes," he whispered, "and it broke me every time." She looked up at him through tears. "Why now?" He hesitated. "Because Han's people are back. They know about Tae Lamo." Her breath caught. "No, you told me Han was dead." Minho's eyes darkened. "So did I. But ghosts don't die easily." Later that night, they heard the sound of glass breaking downstairs. Minho grabbed his gun instantly. "Stay with the boy," he ordered. Lorado clutched her son, heart pounding. Shadows moved outside the windows, men in black, carrying weapons. The front door burst open. Minho fired, his shots clean and fast. 2 men fell. Another threw a smoke grenade. "Go to the back room," he shouted. Lorado ran, holding Tae Lamo close. "Mommy, what's happening?" the boy cried. "Just hold on, baby," she whispered. But before they could reach the back door, someone stepped into the hallway, a woman, her face pale and familiar. "Aisha," Lorado breathed. Aisha smiled sadly. holding a gun, and behind her, one of Han's men gripped Tae Lamos's arm. "Don't move," Aisha said. "He'll be safe if you come quietly." Lorato's heart stopped. "You again. You betrayed me once, now my child." Aisha's eyes filled with tears. "You don't understand. Han wants his grandson. He'll kill everyone if I don't bring the boy." "Grandson," Lorato whispered. "You mean?" A voice came from behind Aisha. Deep, cold, familiar. "Didn't I tell you, Lorato? Blood always calls you home." Chairman Han stepped out of the shadows, older but alive, his smile cruel. "No," Lorato gasped. "You're supposed to be dead." He smiled. "Death is for the weak. And I still have unfinished business." He looked at Tae Lamo, his eyes glinting. "The child belongs to me." Minho appeared at the end of the hall, gun raised. "Over my dead body." Han chuckled. "We already tried that once, didn't we?" "Let them go, Han," Minho said, voice steady. "This fight is between us." Han shook his head. "No, Minho. This fight has always been about legacy. About blood." In one quick motion, Han's guard pulled Tae Lamo back. Lorato screamed, "Let him go." The room erupted in gunfire. Bullets hit the walls, shattering glass, sending sparks across the floor. Lorato ducked, dragging her son behind a couch. Minho fired again, hitting one of the guards. "Run," he shouted, but Aisha stepped forward, blocking the way. Her hands shook, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry, Lorato. I didn't want it to end like this." Lorato's voice was full of fury. "You always had a choice." She looked at the gun lying near her, one of the fallen men's weapons. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. Han laughed. You don't even know how to use that." Lorato stood tall, her hands steadying. "Maybe not," she said softly. "But I'm done being afraid." She aimed the gun straight at Han. "This time, I'm not the victim." The next sound was thunder, gunfire echoing through the house, sharp and endless. When the smoke cleared, the scene faded into silence. Outside, sirens wailed in the distance. The house burned behind them, shadows dancing against the night. Somewhere in the darkness, a small hand reached for its mother's. "Mommy," Tae Lamo whispered. Lorato's voice trembled, but it was strong. "It's okay, baby. Mommy's here." She looked back at the flames, not knowing who lived, who died, or what would come next. But for the first time in years, she wasn't running. She was fighting, and the war wasn't over yet. Fade out with gunshots and waves crashing against the shore. Thank you for watching. Your love and support keep our stories alive. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to K Heart Dramas, where every story beats with passion and destiny.